Hey, it's Scott Barrett, and welcome back to the Burning Truth. I've got my cold coffee. The Weetabix has kicked in, and you know what that means? It's time to ring the bell and dive into another action-packed NXT review. Last night, NXT lit up the Performance Center with drama, high stakes, and surprises at every turn. Chase U faced their biggest challenge yet, and trust me, the fallout is going to have everyone talking. The Iron Survivor Challenge qualifiers ramped up the intensity, and some of NXT's brightest stars punching their ticket to deadline. Let's not forget, Tony D'Angelo may have picked up a win, but his championship reign is in serious jeopardy after a sneaky post-match ambush. The Women's North American Championship scene, utter chaos, and of course, there are plenty of jaw-dropping moments to keep social media buzzing. So, smash that like button if you're on YouTube, if you're on TikTok, hit subscribe, and let's get into it because this is the Burning Truth NXT review, where we break down every rivalry, every twist, and every shocking moment from NXT. Let's ring the bell, a ding, a ding, a ding, and get started. So as I alluded to there, yes, I use the word alluded because why not? NXT delivered a cracking night of action from the Performance Center last night. And probably the first thing that I want to talk about is Chase U and the collapse. So if we start with the main event, Andre Chase faced Ridge Holland in a match with the highest stakes imaginable for him, really. Win or Chase U needs to disband is basically the answer of what happened. And the action was intense, but let's be real, it wasn't really a match. It was the emotional collapse of Chase U, and we watched that right before our eyes. Ridge dominated early, as we expected. You know, he's a big, strong boy. He sending Chase flying and tearing apart the Chase U dream, one move at a time. Thea, Holland, Hudson watching backstage, absolutely gut-wrenching there. And the chaos hit another level when Hudson tried to save the day, but ended up getting obliterated pretty much by Ridge Holland. Chase bought everything he had, including the signature Chase U stomps, but when Holland landed the Redeemer, the writing was on the wall. Chase U is done, folks, and as the crowd sobbed in the stands, and there was so many, as you looked out into the crowd, there was so many Chase U jumpers. You couldn't help but wonder what's next for this crew now. Are Hudson, Hale, and Chase about to scatter, or does it set the stage for a comeback? I don't know. Whatever it is, I think it'll be really interesting to find out. I wasn't as emotional as probably some others, certainly as the crowd was, because, you know, I think I've said from the beginning of doing these reviews, NXT hasn't been huge on my agenda for the last couple of years, probably since Keith Lee was the champion. And I've picked this up as NXT have moved to the CW to do these reviews, and I'm really enjoying it. But Chase U isn't really a film that isn't really a stable or a team that I've got a lot of emotional connection to. So I am, what's the word I'm looking for here? I am disappointed because I thought they were a pretty good team from what I've seen. But actually, I mean, did it make all that much difference? I'm not sure it did. You know, not for me anyway. I'm that bothered. No, Chase U, goodbye. Your time is done. Let's move on. Iron Survivor Chaos I want to talk about next. Frazer, Vaquer, and more. The Iron Survivor Challenge qualifiers were wild last night, let's be fair. Starting with the men's side, Nathan Frazer punched his ticket with a win over Eddie Thorpe. But the real story here was the chaos at ringside. So the entire NXT tag division was in the mix. With a brawl breaking out mid-match. Frazer managed to steal the win with a jaw-dropping Phoenix Splash. But let's face it, again, this wasn't about who won it. It was about the fractures in the tag scene, Frazer's growing tension with his teams, with Axiom as well. There was a little moment outside the ring where he tried to help Axiom up, but then pushed him away. Could Frazer's involvement in the tag division sideline his Iron Survivor aspirations? I think maybe they could. For the women, Jada Parker and Stephanie Vaquer stole the show. These two tore it up, absolutely. But Jada Parker got distracted by Lola Vice and the infamous brick, which, let's be fair, that's absolute wrestle trash, but distracted by the brick. It's just so unbelievable, right? You know, that somebody would use a brick as a weapon in a match. This is NXT, not frigging GCW or whatever. Yeah, just I don't get that at all. But Vaquer capitalized with a brutal finish. And after the match, it was clear that Parker's beef with Vice is far from over. This isn't just about qualifying Parker's got revenge on her mind now, and you know that's probably going to blow up sooner rather than later. Elsewhere, ZARIA claimed her spot by dismantling Ren Sinclair, who had Charlie Dempsey in her corner. ZARIA's F5 finish, really dominant. Really like this character, really like the presentation. Really enjoyed seeing her in action again, and it's becoming a bright spark for NXT. The crowd was really behind Sinclair as the plucky underdog. So keep an eye on her going forward, I think. But ZARIA, absolutely dominant, brilliant. It felt like the beginning of a much bigger rivalry, that match, I think, when I think about it. You know, hopefully we'll get more of those too, because it was good, right? It wasn't terrible. Let's talk about Tony D'Angelo. He defeated Brooks Jensen last night, but the aftermath stole the spotlight probably. After the match, Shawn Spears, Jensen managers, helped D'Angelo to his feet, only for Jensen to take out D'Angelo's injured knee in a sneaky ambush. Spears laughed it off, and suddenly this isn't just a title defense, it's personal now. D'Angelo's got heart, but he knows he's going to have to defend his championship against Spears at some point, and maybe that'll be with a busted knee now. So the stakes just got a whole lot higher, and this feud is heating up fast. Maybe it won't be Spears, maybe it'll be Jensen again, but I want to see Shawn Spears have a title match. I really liked Shawn Spears as Ty Dillinger. I wasn't a fan of his work in AEW as the chairman, but I really liked Ty Dillinger, and I would love to see Shawn Spears do a little bit more in NXT than just be Brooks Jensen's manager, or which is where basically we are at the minute. What else do I want to tell you about? I'll tell you what, before I tell you about anything else, let me tell you about episode 347 of the Burning Truth podcast. It's here, it's out last night, and trust me, you don't want to miss this one. This week, Matt threw me into the hot seat with a challenge to reboot. That's right, we do a reboot this challenge, and this week I had the controversial Muhammad Hassan storyline. Did I craft a redemption arc for one of wrestling's most polarizing figures? No. Did I flip the script in a way nobody saw coming? Not really. But did I do it a hell lot better than the WWE? Yes, I absolutely did. So you'll have to listen to hear that out. And that's just the beginning. We're diving into the explosive rumors surrounding Malachi Black and his AEW future. Could he really be on his way out? Or is this just setting the stage for a massive moment at Full Gear? And Netflix in hot water after the live streaming meltdown on the boxing. With WWE Raw moving to the platform soon, are we heading for a technical disaster? I've got all the details, or Matt had all the details that you need to know on that. Plus, Survivor Series just around the corner, and that means War Games. And the chaos is heating up. The shocking twists, the team drama that you won't believe. We're breaking it all down on the pod. And in our Buried Alive segment, which is our version of Room 101, we're revisiting one of the wildest feuds in wrestling history. That's right. It's Big Show versus Big Boss Man. And yes, we're talking about that funeral. If you haven't seen it, watch it and then listen to the pod, because we've got some really interesting takes on that. So what are you waiting for? If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. If you're not, you can find it anywhere you get your podcasts. It's The Burning Truth. Turn on notifications and catch episode 347, available now on all platforms. You do not want to miss this one. Good. So I've told you about the podcast. And if you're not listening to the podcast, it's probably a lot better than what I do on here. So just kidding, it's just as good. It's just as good. But I do get Matt Burns with me, which is always a bonus. Nice when there's two of us. Tag team drama. So Ashante the Adonis and Carmen Petrovic scored a sneaky win over Dion Lennox and Brinley Rice. Brinley Reese. God, I couldn't get that name right if I tried, could I? Not Brittany Rice, Brinley Reese. Apologies. And thanks to Adonis's constant distractions, it wasn't a standout match, but it showed that NXT's commitment to fleshing out every level of the roster, and it was a win for Adonis and Petrovic after those distractions from Adonis, if you like. I think it was like, "Oh, give me a kiss," and then we finished with Carmen hitting a huge kick on her opponent to get the win. Lennox and Reese have potential. Adonis, underhanded tactics, making someone to watch. I'm interested that, where this goes as a partnership, because, they're never going to have an intergender team win the tag titles, but, where this team goes forward, whether we see a title reign for one or both of them at some point, I think Adonis and Petrovic, I really like them as a team, so I would like them to do something else. And let's talk about the other North American Championship. So the Women's North American Championship. Fallon and Henley opened the floor with a simple challenge. The North American Championship is what matters, not the Iron Survivor Challenge. Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson weren't going to let that slide, but because they could really stake their claim, Nikkita Lyons stormed out and a brawl broke loose, leaving Henley standing tall until Tatum Paxley appeared. And this was really nice, right? So she appeared, slid into the ring from behind, and out of nowhere completely laid her out. Now, please put in the comments if you know what her finisher is called, right? Because she hit a finish on Fallon Henley, and I was like, oh, right? Because it was really, really good. Looked really nice, really slick. And I'm a big fan of that. Big fan of Tatum Paxley's finish. I need to know the name of it because I'm going to talk about it lots. So, do you know what? Bear with. I'm going to find out right now. What is Tatum Paxley's finisher called? Tatum Paxley finisher. And if you can put it in the comments before I can find it, you win. Tatum Paxley's new finisher. Yeah, that's it. What's it called? Something that's low fat, high fiber, and high protein. I don't think that's what it's called. Finish your version of what I tell you what, some of the comments on Reddit are good. Right, it's Suzu's tequila shot. So it's called the tequila shot. It's very nice anyway. So the tequila shot put Fallon Henley down completely and yeah, staked her claim. So the women's division's buzzing. And I say this every week, and I'm not going to stop saying it. NXT's women's division is where it's at. There is no women's division in wrestling as strong as NXT's right now. And you got that from the amount of women that came out and brawled. It wasn't like when the tag teams came out last week and there was a few of them. Like there was so many individual women coming out to do this brawl. And Henley's got a target on her back, right, from all directions. So who gets the next shot? Probably Tatum Paxley. But your guess really is as good as mine because it literally could be any of them. And I'd be happy about it because, like I say, I haven't seen a bad match from the women's roster yet. And so I suppose from the fall of Chase U to the brewing feuds in the Iron Survivor Challenge and the escalating chaos around the North American titles, NXT delivered a night full of drama that set the stage for some huge matches going ahead. There wasn't much to do with the NXT title and Trick Williams this week, but I'm not mad about it. It'll come. We'll get some of that next week. And, you know, what I'm interested in is what you thought of the show. So what did you think of this week's NXT? Let me know in the comments. Did the end of Chase U hit you as hard as the crowd? It didn't really hit me. Maybe it hit you a bit harder. Are you hyped for Tony D'Angelo to potentially face Shawn Spears? Are you more excited about the Women's North American Championship scene after this week's big brawl and the tequila shot, basically? So let me know all that in the comments below. If you're on the YouTube, if you're on TikTok, give us a follow and we'll talk about it loads more. That's it for now, folks. Like I say, that's a wrap for this week's NXT review. Next Tuesday, the Performance Center is set to erupt again. If last night is anything to go by, we're in for even more chaos, drama, and surprises. I'll be back here Wednesday morning with all the biggest moments, so make sure you're subscribed and ready for another epic breakdown. We've got the fallout from Chase U's shocking disbandments. What's next for Andre Chase, Thea, Holland, Duke Hudson? Plus, the Iron Survivor Challenge qualifiers continue to ramp up as deadline looms closer. And don't forget, Tony D'Angelo's knee is a target now. How will that play into his brewing rivalry with Shawn Spears and Brooks Jensen? If you want to keep the conversation going, you can find us on Twitter at TBT Live UK, Instagram at The Burning Truth, and Facebook at The Burning Truth. Watch all our episodes live and our reactions on YouTube at The Burning Truth 251. We're also on TikTok at The Burning Truth 251. If you've got any questions or ideas, you can drop us an email at info@theburningtruthuk.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a review. It really helps, right? We want to keep getting the word out. I enjoy doing this. I want to keep doing it. So please, please, please comment, review, like, all the good stuff. And check out the website, theburningtruthuk.com, for all latest updates, insights, and Matt Burns blogs. Until next time, stay hyped, keep enjoying the action, and I'll see you next Wednesday morning for another Burning Truth NXT review. Excelsior, baby.